that was I was covering. It was basically the countryside, quite a vast area though compared to. I mean, if you compare with Central Europe, that would be like half of Belgium, but counting inhabitants, it was much smaller. So that was how I started out, and from there I went. That was at the same time as I was studying, and I was also running a radio station for students at the University of Uppsala when I was studying there. And from that work I got a job at the local radio station. So I worked there for 1 year and 3 months, and then there was a new local television station that started for the biggest commercial network in Sweden. They started local television stations around Sweden, and one of them were in Uppsala. So I was a part of starting that station up, and I worked there for 3.5 years, and then I started to work at the Swedish National Television. So I've been there for almost 10 years.
Okay.
Yeah. It feels like I'm just working in Brussels. I'm not living really in Brussels.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
it's well, first of all, I have a family and kids, so we live outside Brussels.
Okay.
And here it's mainly work. And as a journalist, Brussels is like a huge news machine. So there are so many decisions all the time of different magnitude. So there's always a matter of choosing what to do, to make priorities on what you can manage to cover, because you can never cover everything in the EU, of course. So it's a lot of in that sense, Brussels and what we are covering in Brussels is like this continuing stream of news all the time.
Yeah.
And that's interesting and stimulating and sometimes stressful, and you can never, it's always a feeling that you can never cover everything. Well, we find stories in different ways, and when you know where you want it, sometimes you know the story and then you find out where to go to do it, and sometimes you know where to go and then you find stories. And what you do is that you read a lot about it. You read articles, you read on the wires from the news agencies. You talk to people and what they're doing, and you talk to maybe colleagues that have been at the place before, and a lot of the information just, you know, you can sort it out immediately. This is nothing for television, or this is nothing for us to do. But suddenly you just stumble on something and you feel, okay, this is television. This is what we can do, and then you start working on it. That struck me actually the other day when I was planning. I'm planning this trip to Chad, which is kind of a rough area, and we're going to the east to the refugee camps, and I was studying different guerrilla groups and militias and what the risks of. I was reading about help convoys being attacked by robbers and guerrilla groups and so forth. And I was thinking about all the different kind of diseases that I needed vaccination against, and then suddenly in the middle of all that I was thinking, I have to remember to mark the clothes of my children to go to preschool, because they need to have names in their boots and sweaters and stuff like that. So okay, I need to do that now. So it's that gives it kind of a I think it's fantastic. You know, it is a challenge, it's hard work, and you get way too little sleep. That's the biggest problem. But at the same time you have like the best of both worlds. And family is actually, that's a good thing in this job, I think. Even though it's hard work, at the same time it's like your reality anchor. And I think also it gives a different perspective, because one of the stories that we're doing in Chad is with refugee children that are drawing their experiences as a therapy. It's called Drawing and Art Therapy at this psychiatric center in one of the refugee camps, where you can see that they're drawing flowers, and beside that you see the drawing of a brother that was killed by the guerrilla. And having children yourself, you look at it, I think, in a different way. I think that you find things that could bring the viewers closer to what you're trying to report about. Gives you perspective. You remember all the drawings that your children are having in their preschool, and you can compare the realities of the children that you have in front of you and the children that you have at home. And I think it's a good thing.